In this week's Seder of Parshas VaYeilech, HaKadosh Baruch Hu turns to Moshe Rabbeinu and he informs him that he's about to die. Hein korvi yomecha lamus. Go summon Yehoshua, and the two of you should present yourself by the Ohel Moed, when HaKadosh Baruch Hu will effectively transfer the sovereignty of Moshe Rabbeinu and the leadership of Klal Yisrael over to Yehoshua. And there's not even a whimper of an exchange. Moshe Rabbeinu doesn't hesitate. He immediately proceeds to do so. Why is that? Beginning of the Seder VaYeilech, we are told that Moshe Rabbeinu presents himself before Klal Yisrael, and he tells them, "Vayomer Aleihem ben me'ova esrim shana anochi hayom." Today I am 120 years exactly. Rashi explains, citing the Gemara, that hayom moloyim yomai ushanosai. Today my days, all of the days of my life, and my years have come to a full completion. B'yom zeh noladati, I was born on the 7th of Adar, as we know it. U'yom zeh amos, and today I will die. How did he know? He continues in the pasuk, Lo uchal o l'seis v'lavo. I am not able to continue going out and returning. V'Adonai amar elaylo sa'avaras hayarden hazeh. For Kadosh Baruch Hu, or Anna Kadosh Baruch Hu has said to me that I am not permitted to cross the Jordan River with the rest of the people. And Rashi explains that the wording of Lo uchal o l'seis v'lavo cannot mean that I am not able, but rather it means I have effectively been rendered unable by Kadosh Baruch Hu from doing so, by his appointment of Yehoshua in my stead. But if that is the case, then the wording of Lo uchal o l'seis v'lavo does not mean that Moshe is saying that I simply can't do it anymore, but rather he is saying I am forbidden from doing it anymore. And the simple pshat of the words Lo uchal o l'seis v'lavo means I am not able. From within me, I'm not able. And the second pshat of Rashi, I believe, enables us to translate it in this more simplistic term. Says Rashi, Dover acher l'seis v'lavo b'divrei Sorah. Moshe Rabbeinu said to the people, I can no longer take part in the give and take, in the going and coming of the discussion of Torah. Malame, to instruct us, shenistamu mimenu mesoros umayonos hachachma. That the well springs and all that had been entrusted to him to pass on to the generations suddenly were removed from him. And if that was the case, then as the Baal HaTurim says it even in more searing fashion, Lo uchal o l'seis v'lavo, says the Baal HaTurim, since the word v'lavo, which normally would not have a vav, is spelled with a vav, it is to hint to us that Moshe was effectively saying, Shelo uchal o lavo, that I am no longer able to come and go, b'shisha sidrei mishnah. Within all of the volumes and all of the teachings of Torah Sheba'al Peh. And Moshe Rabbeinu said, if I can no longer take part in the discussion of Torah in the Beis Medrash, if I can no longer participate in the learning of all the Torah Sheba'al Peh that defines the Torah Shebeksav and elucidates it, well then, Lo uchal o l'seis v'lavo. Then I'm out of here. Then I die today. Then effectively my life is over. Because the loss of that ability renders my life effectively no longer meaningful. I don't want to live if I can't learn. During this period of the 10 days, Aseres Yemei Tshuva, we ask the Kadosh Baruch Hu for so many things. For chayim, for life, and for blessing, and for peace, and for parnasa. But exactly what do we ask him for that is the most critical of all? Obviously life, for without life, there's nothing else to speak about. But other than life itself, what's the most important thing that we ask the Ribono Shel Olam for during these days culminating on Yom Kippur? I suggest to you that it's easy to figure out. if we ask ourselves, were we not to be granted this particular thing that we beseech the Almighty for, then in truth I no longer wish to live. If I am at a loss for that ability or that relationship, well then, life is meaningless for me. The loss of that particular thing defines who I am and the meaning of life for me personally. For Moshe Rabbeinu, la'ochal o lavova laseis. If Moshe Rabbeinu, for Moshe, if he could not learn, then life had no meaning. When we turn to HaKadosh Baruch Hu and we plead our hearts out for so many things, let's ask ourselves, look into our hearts on Yom Kippur and ask ourselves, what is the most important thing in life without which we simply cannot live? And when we figure that out, why then we storm the heavens and the gates of prayer to see to it that HaKadosh Baruch Hu doesn't lock us out and grants us that very elixir of life which defines our existence. A Gemar Chasima Tova for a wonderful year of prosperity and growth in every area of importance and those that are closest to your heart, for everyone and Klal Yisrael.